I'm not at my typical gaming setup, but this is our last day here. So probably in the next clip, it would all be back to my original setup. But in this case, I'll be diving to celebrities who have unalived people. Let's just get into the first one. Snoop Dogg, this ugly possum. Ugh. Snoop was actually arrested for that of Philip. They had bad blood with each other. Philip will go ahead and threaten Snoop Dogg for some strange reason. We don't know what they're arguing about. The first name is here, Lee. That's when Lee would go ahead and pull out a hand pew pew and shoot Philip. Now Lee was actually Snoop Dogg's bodyguard. Here's the thing, since Snoop Dogg was actually driving the car, since it was his vehicle, he was actually charged, not the one that pulled the trigger. Since we don't really care about that because he's not really a celebrity, we're only talking about Snoop Dogg. The lawyer, this is the name right here, it sounds like a brain rot word, he was trying to help him defend him through the trial. It ended 4 months later. It ended with Snoop Dogg spending a year in prison. So yeah, be careful on who you hang out with. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Or Law West. Anyways, he was actually an actor in the popular movie Alien vs. Predator. He plays a character called Richard Howard. Now, I can't speak for myself, I've never seen any of the Aliens or Predator movies, but so this one you gotta do your own research to see what character he plays or what his role was. But anyways, we're just gonna be talking about his story here. Not the movie, his story. After a dangerous motorcycle accident, he had dealt with head trauma, so pretty much just went crazy after that. He was also arrested 3 times between the year 2011 and 2012. Now, what did he do? For some strange reason, we actually don't know if it was just him going crazy or just him going through a bunch of trauma, but he ended up unaliving his landlady and her cat. Justice for the cat though. So what's a landlady, if you're wondering? A landlady is someone who owns the house, but somebody actually pays to live there. So let's just say I want to live in someone's house, I pay them a rent every month so I can live there. It's pretty much like an Airbnb. After he did this, he went to the roof for some strange reason and just jumped off, ending his life. Good. Justice for that cat though. With that being said, let's move on to the next set of the movie Crow. Now, before I say anything else, I've never seen this movie. Have you seen it? Good for you. I don't know if they went with that scene or they just changed the actors, but something happened in 1993, same year as Snoop Dogg's case, on the night of the set of filming The Crow. Now, I've never seen the movie, so I don't know if they went with that scene or they changed the actors or just completely rewrote the script for that scene. But anyways, Michael accidentally used a fake pew-pew, so the pew-pew was fake. But the thing was, a live bullet was accidentally placed, completely unaware. So Michael ended up and shot co-star Brandon Lee with that pew-pew. But the thing was, you could see on this post, you could see that the difference between a real bullet and a dummy bullet. These dummy bullets, their purpose is to make the fire and the sound effect real, like actual real, without CGI or nothing. But one of these live bullets got placed in those fake pew-pews and it still shot, and it accidentally shot Brandon Lee. Went to the hospital. During surgery, he ended up passing away on losing a lot of Ensign red ketchup, and his death was wrote out as an accident. Pretty shocking. Alright, this one happened in 1990. Now this one is just a unknown story of how it happened, but I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability. So this can either be pronounced 3 ways. Gien.
Be quiet, it's Gig.
So we're gonna call him Young, because that's literally his last name, Young. So we're gonna go with Young. Okay, so Young, now here's all the movies that he came out in. I don't know what movies he came out in, but he came out in a couple of movies. In 1978, Young shot and unalived his wife, Kim. Now this name is just a redunculous last name, but here it is. I'm not even gonna try pronouncing that. At the age of 31, just 3 weeks after their wedding. Now, why did he do this? it's actually still undiscovered why he did this. It's just unknown why he did this. But right after he committed that act, he turned the pew-pew on himself and he did his final shot. This one might actually be the most popular out of all of them, so if I named anybody that you didn't know, you're bound to know this guy. Matthew, this guy's name. It's like Breadnick. I'm not even gonna try the name. You're gonna roast me in the comments. So he plays 3 main popular movies, what you all might heard of. So he does do other adult movies, but we're mostly gonna talk about these top 3 movies. So he actually does play the dad from Wonder Park. He plays the dad from the Wonder Park. I never watched it because I just been stuck to YouTube that point of the year. Also, the second movie he actually plays, he plays the main rat from Tales of Des. I'm not even trying pronouncing that. I never really pay attention. Anyway, so this is the word. It's the Tales of. He plays the main rat, like the actual main rat. And the last one, by far one of the most popular, is the B movie. He plays Adam. He plays Adam, the one that has the tail sword that stings the business guy, and he has the tail sword. He plays that one. So what was his crime and what did he do? So 1987, he was involved in a fatal car accident in Northern Ireland. I love Ireland. That unalived 2 people and charged with manslaughter. We gotta keep this family friendly for YouTube. I need money. Whoa. I keep on doing that. Anyways, but the charges were dropped to careless driving, and he faced up to 5 years in prison, but he didn't serve any prison time for some strange reason, because I don't know, he's famous, I guess. But he did actually serve. It didn't tell me what the first received was. He did receive a 2-year suspension, a 2-year sentence. I don't know what that sentence was, but he actually couldn't drive a car for 2 years, so he got a 2-year suspension as well. So he couldn't drive for 2 years. Uber would have been W back then. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Now this one, I don't really know what he's actually famous for, but he did come out in this movie right here. Alright, so let's just get into the story. So back, I don't have the date, I'm mad about that, but this happened in Cleveland. So Don King actually unalived a man called Sam Garrett in an open street battle, pretty much, in Cleveland over a $600 gambling debt. In front of several people, King will go ahead and football him, pretty much, for family-friendly deaths. So just picture a field goaler's job, pretty much. And it's actually stated that he held a pew-pew to his head, pretty much. That's what I'm reading right here. That he held a pew-pew to his head, but at the time, Garrett was already pronounced unalive due to head trauma. That's pretty much it. Don King's sentence was actually 4 years in prison. So yeah, good. That's what you deserve. Now the gambling. Here's the gambling part. I don't know if he was in debt or he had won and the other person was in debt and he got mad. He's like, yo, pay up. But in Cleveland, over a $600 gambling debt. Either he was in debt and he couldn't pay. He's like, idea. Ooh, up. But yeah, that's what happened. We've been getting actors all day, so this is our actual first football player, O.J. Simpson. Now his story is rather on the confusing side, so I'm just gonna get this out of the way. He does play for the Bills and the 49ers, I believe. There'll be an entire list just popping up the entire video. Out of the way before anything else. It didn't say why. Like nobody knows why he did it. Like there probably is a reason out there, but maybe if I explain this story, maybe you could put your own theories together, and I'll explain my theory at the end. So O.J. Simpson's former football player. In 1995, O.J. Simpson was on trial for the unaliving of his ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and her friend Ron Goldman. They met at a restaurant together, so that's how they knew each other. Ron and the ex, and the wife, the ex-wife. Now, what he used was this stubby tool that you use to cut carrots, chicken, like what else you just. And he got both of them. He got both of them. He got the friend and the wife. He used the stubby tool to unalive the friend Ron and the Nicole. His trial lasted 8 months, from January 24th to October 2nd of 1995. Anyways, the father of Ron actually sued and won. O.J. Simpson had to pay $33 million. Good for him. Now, it doesn't explain why he unalived them, but my theory was Ron and Nicole started feeling that connection, and then O.J. Simpson was like, nah, you're not having this in my watch. And then, so I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but I could not find no articles would explain why he did it. Anyways, and he was up to 33 years in prison. So yeah. Also, there's another case going around that he served 9 years for kidnapping and armed robbery, but we're not going to be talking about that because we're here just to talk about this case. And let's move on to the next one. I forgot to write his name down, but I still remembered the name by the back of my head, because that's what I'm here for, and to help you with the story. So in 1983 he was charged, which we're talking about Scott Hall. This ugly guy. Whoops, wrong picture. This ugly tequache. This is the guy we're gonna be talking about. I'm so new to all this technology stuff, so let's continue. Scott Hall was actually a wrestler. Now, I don't know what wrestler he was. I don't know if it's one of those guys that just wear the mask. Charged with second-degree unaliving after he wrestled a pew-pew away. Now, here's the thing. Wrestling could mean like one of three things. Either he was fighting somebody with a pew-pew, or he's like, yo, I'll bet you this pew-pew I could beat you up, pretty much. Like, I'll wrestle this pew-pew away. And then I don't know what happened, because here it says from a man, which somehow Hall ended up with the pew-pew and shot the man in the head, and he says it was for self-defense. So I'm assuming that while he was there at the nightclub, it says there at the nightclub, while he was at the nightclub, the guy probably came and started bouncing on him like, oh, I know you, boom, 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 and then trying to take him down. And then either he had the pew-pew or he took away the pew-pew from him, which shot him. Said it was self-defense, but here's the thing. The charges were actually dropped due to lack of evidence. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It was also at close range. I forgot to say that. It was like right there. It was like point blank. It was like right there. It was like not more than far away from us. So I thought I was done. Oh, let me lower this, bro. It's done, and I forgot to mention this dude. This dude was the last dude. The wrestler was supposed to be the last guy, because if you saw, I explained this at the end. But this guy was supposed to be the second to the last guy. But since I'm tired, I don't want to work on this, so this guy's gonna be the last guy. Charles is Dunnan, by the name of Rock, and not the Rock that goes like that. It's R-O-K. So he was a boxer for his boxing career to end short at the age of 17. He was convicted for unaliving a man, saying it was for self-defense. So there's no evidence behind this. So he was actually released on parole, but while actually released on, so he actually unalived a man. So his boxing ended short at 17. Right after that, he was actually released on parole. So he was free. He was a free man after he got away with that unaliving. Then he robbed a bank, and he went to prison for real. He was serving 3 years in prison, but then he actually guard. So then he was sentenced 8 years. So what's that? 12 years. During the days he was actually serving, he spent 6 days in solitary confinement, which is pretty like what I'm doing right now. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you watched to the end, there's actually a hidden message in my thumbnail. If you see the arrow, it's actually pointing at the last dude that I was talking about, the big ugly dude. The reason why I was specifically pointing at him was because he was the first case that I actually found. He was supposed to be, that's why he was supposed to be the last one, but I'm actually so tired, so I just want to go to bed. It's already about to be 1 o'clock. That's the end of today's video. If y'all like this video and made it to the end, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. And yeah, hopefully this goes good. Hopefully this video does really good. There is a lot more cases, like the case of Winston. That's why I put his dad, which is Nicolas Cage. Winston was actually a Nicolas Cage's son. I'll try to explain this case out of the memory, but I don't think no one really cared about that because he didn't really unalive anybody. He was just vicious to his mom, but he didn't go to jail. He just faced a $150 fine, I believe. $150,000 fine. This is just going based off the memory on what I read on the article. So that's one, and he pretty much looks like Johnny Depp. So and like I said, he doesn't unalive anybody, so we don't really talk about that case. I talked about it a little bit, but that was that guy's case. There was another one where it actually happened, like somebody actually unalived a celebrity by like 20 witnesses, by like 20 people saw, and to this day they still don't know who got that celebrity. I can't remember his name, but that was another case that I just left out because it wasn't a celebrity attacking somebody. But yeah, that's the case. So if y'all like this story or stories, make sure y'all subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see where the wind takes me. We'll see where the wind takes me. You all have a wonderful day, life, year.